Even during a double-dip recession, profits in the fast food industry continue to rise. But I'm on my way to visit a chip shop in the southwest that's had a real battering. Yate is on the outskirts of Bristol, and its population has quadrupled since 1965. It has a very big shopping centre, and there are over 12 million visitors a year. So it's a complete mystery to me why this shop is failing. With over 350 million portions sold in the UK every year, fish and chips remain the nation's favourite takeaway.
OK, chips are ready.
With such huge demand, how on earth could a chip shop be struggling so badly?
Regular cod, chips and mushy peas.
Polizzi was set up in 1948 by the parents of the current owner, Kipper, in a small wooden hut.
Battering fish with one hand and stoking coal with the other into the range.
Kipper and his wife Julia took over the family business in 1988.
The secret to good fish is to buy in the best you can get.
3 years ago, having suffered a huge dip in profits, the couple invested heavily in an upmarket modernisation, hoping it would increase trade.
One battered sausage, one portion of chips, please.
Yeah, almost there.
But all it's done is leave them with a crippling debt of nearly £250,000.
The bank would only give us so much money. We owed more money, so we ended up going to family and friends to borrow the extra.
They have a financial noose around their necks. Every month they need over £3,000 just to cover costs.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, I know we all make mistakes, Kit, but we just haven't the funding there to be able to afford to make any more expensive mistakes.
The stress of keeping the business afloat has taken a tremendous toll on their previously happy relationship.
What I think and what you tell me, I think, are two different things.
No, don't give me that.
Yes, it is.
Don't give me that crap, that's rubbish. You can have argument after argument.
But it says £8.25 a tub. It's £16. I could have told you that.
It gets to the stage you think, is it really worth it, you know? Are we good working together? And then you think, are we good together, full stop? And then it kind of like snowballs.
In an attempt to stop the fights, Kip and Julia have asked youngest daughter Juki to step in and manage the day-to-day running of the shop.
When I was a child growing up, it was a major part of my life. One stinking pie and chips, one cod and chips and one piece of cod. For me, it goes back a really long way. I couldn't see anyone else running this place. It would absolutely break my heart.
But the emotional pressure and lack of experience mean Juki's finding it hard to cope.
I'm constantly thinking about my parents' relationship. I don't want anything to hinder that. I feel a lot of pressure. I feel very stressed.
I have 2 months to work out where Pisces is going wrong and help the Holbrook family rescue both their relationships and their business. Already, the first problem is clear. From the road, I have no idea what they sell.
It should just be shouting fish and chips, freshly made here. Where is that? Nowhere. Hi,
Hello.
Alex Polizzi.
All right, Kip Holbrook.
I found the place quite hard to see driving along, and this very grey day.
Oh, right, OK.
And how are takings at the moment?
My big worry is what's happening on the lunchtimes, why that sort of trade is dissipated so quickly.
In its heyday a decade ago, the shop sold 200 portions at lunchtimes. Now they're lucky if they manage a quarter of that.
You've got lots of superstores around you, and you're on a busy street. I can't quite work out what's going wrong.
Perhaps Kip's daughter Juki can help me find out.
So you weren't involved at all in the refurb?
No, not in the refurb.
Do you think your problems here come mainly down to having overspent?
Well, it does feel a bit like that.
Yeah.
This is an expensive piece of kit. What did it cost you, Kip?
£52,000.
Gosh.
As well as the equipment, the shop itself was completely remodelled. The one thing that remains unchanged is the way they make their fish and chips.
Do you chip your own potatoes?
Yep, we peel them and chip them. So we're one of the few people that do buy in potatoes and chip them ourselves.
What are you frying in?
Oil is made out of groundnuts and beef dripping.
Ooh, beef dripping. Ooh. Same question about the batter. Is this a family secret?
It's not our secret. We were lucky enough to have someone else give us their secret, and it is a fantastic way of making batter.
However, looking at their menu, you'd have no idea that what they're offering is so upmarket.
Nowhere anywhere does it say that these chips are potatoes that are peeled and chipped on the premises.
What's more, 3/4 of this menu is dedicated to a whole host of decidedly unfishy oddities.
I'm really interested to know, you know, the griddled chicken breast. How many of those do they sell? How many jacket potatoes do they sell? The salad bowl, I'm sure, in winter is a complete waste of time.
I'm convinced customers come to a fish and chip shop for one thing. But as they're selling it at £5.55 a portion, more than £1 above the nation's average, it had better be good.
Deliciously crisp batter. I usually leave the batter behind, but this is crisp and delicious. Yum.
That is one big positive.
Was it all right for you, Alex?
Delicious, as you can see.
When picking where to eat out, 80% of people choose based on quality. So, if the fish isn't to blame, there must be a much bigger problem. It's time to find out why their finances are so fishy.
You and both your parents work here. What is the division of labour?
I like to think that Dad would be in charge of doing maintenance. Mum more focusing on the financial side of things.
OK. I'm going to go and find your mother.
Yeah.
Is that OK?
Yes, that's
Find her
fine.
out the back then?
Yeah, she is out the back.
All right, thank you so much.
Not a problem.
So how far have you been able to follow your business plan to pay back the loan, the alteration?
We're currently paying that back. That's going out on a monthly basis.
Presumably you had to do a business plan to give to the bank to get a loan approved.
No, we didn't.
So you didn't have any plan in your own mind
No.
or down on paper about how you're going to repay?
No, we didn't.
Almost quarter of a million.
No, we didn't.
I mean, I'm trying not to sound as horrified as I'm actually feeling because you borrowed a sum of money that, according to Kip anyway, you're struggling to pay back.
Yes.
I mean, you're just going on gut instinct. Which is worrying because Dukey said that you were the one who needed to get a grip on the finances.
Why me? Kit's a mathematician.
OK.
So he tells me that maths is his best subject, so he's really better at figures than me.
OK.
This is worrying. If Kip doesn't have a handle on the finances, then clearly none of them do.
Right. So I have come to you because Julia suggested that you were the person to ask about the finances.
Well, that's strange because she normally does all the finances. I don't understand that one. I'll have to pull her on that one, I think.
No, but I'm slightly confused because Dukey suggested that it was Julia who should be doing more of the finances. However, Julia was very clear to me that it was you.
Interesting.
She says you're a mathematician. And
Well, probably because I do maths and I say, well, it's one of my better subjects.
how did it happen before, darling? You've had a successful
Well, I was
business
always
for
keeping
ages.
my hand on it and saying, right, this is how we do it. This is how you do it.
The finances just aren't adding up. Spending nearly £250,000 in borrowed cash without any plan for how to pay it back is madness.
You know, this family really do have no idea about their finances. And I think that it is basically a sign of just how slack they have been. It's obvious to me that no one's really taking responsibility for the business. Dukey's only been here a month. Why has it all landed on her shoulders? The whole thing is not ideal. It all needs to be formalised and tightened up to work as a properly functioning business.
They do at least have a state-of-the-art till, which means they should be completely on top of the figures for their food margins.
Yesterday, how many portions of fish and chips did you sell?
Well, I wouldn't know it off the top of my head. And
Fine, but I'd love to know, for example, how many salad bowls you sold.
yeah.
How many jacket potatoes, but presumably at the touch of a button.
We don't actually know how to use it very well.
Well, that's a shame, because having spent the money, this is the most useful tool you have in analysing your sales.
They may cook up a mean cod and chips, but this family's business sense is about as healthy as a deep-fried Mars bar. The menu's a mess, the finances are floundering, and Kip and Julia seem determined to duck responsibility by putting their inexperienced daughter in charge.
One large cod at the top.
Well, I mean, let's face it, they took on a debt 3 years ago that they have come nowhere near clearing, and that is a lot of money to pay off. The fact that they have done no business plan shows that on a certain level they live in la-la land. Clearly, Juki has taken on an enormous task here. She has parents who don't communicate very well with each other, or clearly with her, and there's a mountain of debt that may well consume this business before she has a chance to turn it round.
I return to Pisces with a plan. I believe the Holbrooks need to go back to basics to understand what their fish and chip shop is all about. My first point of attack is their menu. It's too big, which means they are undoubtedly throwing food away, a great way to throw away profit. What's more, some of the options are just plain odd, and there is one person to blame.
When I go out places, I like to eat fairly healthily. I will have fish and chips sometimes, but maybe no more than sort of like once a week. If I go out, I like to have a healthy option, so I'm thinking, OK, I want to give people what I want.
Offering a healthy alternative is admirable, but my hunch is that no one comes to a chippy for a salad, and it's one thing at least that Kip and I agree on.
Just a bit worried about whether we're moving away from our core stuff or not. Sometimes I feel that I'm not being listened to, I'm talking to the wall sometimes.
The crazy thing is that there should be no argument. Their top-notch till has all the answers, and their menu decisions should be based on cold, hard facts. I reckon they have no clear idea of what really does sell in the shop. So, to find out and settle the argument about how well Julia's healthy options are doing, I've managed to extract the last fortnight's sales figures from the till.
How many portions of cod and chips you sold? Cod?
I've put down 650.
You've put down?
1,450.
Gosh, if only, love.
Yeah, if only 500.
Actually, you were the closest, 485. Next question. Write down the next 5 bestsellers from your menu.
First top seller, batter sausages. I've got burgers, and then I've gone for the fish cakes.
Burgers are nowhere in the top 5.
Are they not?
No. You've got 2 wrong. Pasty is nowhere to be seen. Burgers, all off.
Scale. Right.
Okay.
The family's lack of sales knowledge is alarming.
Can you tell me how many griddled chicken, how many potatoes, and how many salad bowls you sold last week?
Chicken breast 20, 10 jacket potatoes and 2 salad bowls.
You didn't sell any of them. You're trying, in a way, to be all things to all men, and I wonder how successful that is. So I think that's what we've got to try and... I just think we've got to try and work it out, darling. I haven't made a pre-decision.
OK.
I'm just saying that what we need to do is feel absolutely fully justified in all the business decisions we make. So it isn't your feeling or your desire to have a salad bowl on the menu. It's whether it bloody works.
Yeah.
Is this financially viable?
Yeah.
But despite being faced with the facts, Julia is still backing the choices she's made for the menu.
For now, until we've done further marketing, I think I'd like to keep the salad bowls, the jacket potatoes and the griddled butterfly chicken breast on the menu.
Well, if she wants market research, then that's exactly what she's going to get.
What I've decided to do to road test your menu and the choices that you have on it is to bring 2 very diverse groups of people here who have never eaten here before. So I have brought a group of gym goers and a group of builders.
I'm prepared to gamble that what most people want from their chippy, whoever they are, is simply great British fish and chips. And I'm staking my reputation on a busload of builders and fitness fanatics proving my point to the family.
Large cod and chips, all right then, is it?
Chips and mushy peas, I think.
Large cod and chips, please, mate. Large cod.
Perhaps predictably, the builders are on message.
Have large cod and chips, please.
But will Julia's healthy eating gym goers back her up?
And just a regular cod and chips.
Regular cod and chips, okay.
Haddock and spring onion fish cake and chips, please.
Right.
I'd like the seafood platter, please.
2 seafoods down, right, okay.
And just a few chips
Yep.
with that as well.
The vast majority of these new customers have ordered fish and chips.
2 cod.
Thank
We've got another 3 large cod in, Judy.
And it's disappointment for Julia as the family failed to sell even one jacket potato or salad. But as the diners enjoy their lunch, I notice something's wrong.
We think the fish is delicious, but the batter is too greasy.
I want to try a bit and check it's as good as it was yesterday. So I can immediately see the problem, that there was a lot and very thick batter.
Yeah. And quite greasy.
I never thought their fish and chips would let them down.
That is a different product from the one I had yesterday. Have you seen how much thicker the batter is? Look, that is not what I had yesterday.
No.
I need to ensure this doesn't happen ever again. But right now, I can't miss this opportunity to drive home to Julia what her customers really want.
OK, for those of you who come from the gym side of the equation, could you put your hands up if you would come to a fish and chip shop for a salad? They're deathly silent, it tells its story. What would bring you to get the takeaway in particular?
Just something like a twist of fish and chips.
I think there's a lot on the menu and it's a bit confusing, and emphasise what your positive points are, because that will mean if there's another fish and chip shop, another takeaway locally, people will hopefully choose yours over that one.
Does it make a difference to you to know that they have whole potatoes in here that they then peel and chip on the premises? Do you like that about it?
Yeah.
Unanimity, that rare thing. Thank you.
Customer feedback this universal is impossible to ignore. If this business is to bounce back, then the shop's focus must be firmly on fish and chips.
Thank you very much.
But before we can even think about clearing Julia's inappropriate options from the menu, I have to tackle the disappointment with today's batch of batter. If the quality of your product is unreliable, it can jeopardise both repeat business and your reputation. Disaster for any business.
There was a huge difference in the consistency.
Yes.
From the product that I saw yesterday that I raved about and the product that the people ate today.
The batter, I think, was probably not as...
It's a little thicker, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A little thicker.
A lot thicker.
Yes.
I was embarrassed today.
I was a bit embarrassed. I did this to get reactions from people about the menu.
Yeah.
I did not expect this to show any flaws in your product. The point is, it seems to me that not everyone is doing things in exactly the same way every single time.
I was told, don't touch the oil, Dad. Don't do anything, Dad. Please don't do it, Dad. Fine.
You cannot risk me getting new people to the shop and us making a huge song and dance about how great you are,
You can't
and
risk
then
it.
them not having a fantastic product.
No, it needs
I
to
really
be.
do think that that will matter.
A lot of what you said I agree with. No.
That really surprises me.
It's very difficult to talk about business with your family and then they turn around and they say, I don't want to know it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this. Times I've come back and I said, oh, so-and says this is wrong, that's wrong. I don't want to hear it. Don't bring it home.
I personally think that the death to the family is having any kind of disagreement at home. You keep your disagreements in the office.
So, I can add family rouse to the list along with finances and menu, but I can only handle one problem at a time. I'm going to focus first on the lack of consistency in their product.
It's about ensuring that you repay a customer's trust and faith in you.
I'm taking them to the multi-million-pound food chain Pizza Express. Set up in 1965, this high street giant now has 400 restaurants in the UK and branches from Kuwait to Shanghai.
Right, my dears, the point is that this is a company that has grown because it is so consistent. And I want you to see how it's done when it's done properly. Wherever you are in the world, you can be sure that if you order an American hot in one place and an American hot in the other, they will be exactly the same. That is an ethos that I'm trying very hard to instill in Kip, Julia and Juki.
If the Holbrooks can all learn how to create exactly the same pizza in just a matter of minutes, they should be able to deliver consistency with their fish and chips back at the shop.
So the first thing to get started with when making a perfect pizza is perfect dough. And then with the flat of your palm, push it down in the middle, and that's how you get the nice, even consistency.
Holly Davis, the food and drink manager across the UK restaurants, knows all too well the importance of creating the perfect product every time.
It's about sort of saying that consistency and high standards is crucial, really, to the longevity and success of the brand.
So all you need to do is just give it a little toss in the air.
A key ingredient in getting it consistently right is a how-to manual.
So, this is how they do things here.
Oh, fantastic. So,
do you see what I mean? You see the 6 olives going down and you see slices of mozzarella, but it is done stage by stage pictorially.
Every pizza has its own piece in the guide, so in terms of images for the pizziatos to look at, recipe, top tips.
And that's what I think you should be working on for your manual. Brilliant.
They were all trained individually, yet have managed to create 3 almost identical pizzas.
I have to say that overall, that looks like the same product.
I'm impressed. Very beautiful pizzas.
Very edible.
Maybe I should give up on the fish and chips and start doing pizzas.
It's been a successful lesson. Now I want them to create their own manual for all the working practices back at Pisces.
This was a fun morning with a very serious purpose, which was to encourage you to get on with this manual.
what happens when we disagree on what should be done?
Which method?
If you don't agree with him, then don't put it in the manual.
But what Dad then does is he go, right, that's it, your bloody way, again, I won't bother, I'll go and sit on the sofa.
No, not at all.
That is what you did.
Who opens the shop most days?
Me.
So this is new regime. This is how Juki has
Why
to...
ask me to do it? She's the one that's got to do it.
She's asking you for help, sweetie.
Well, I've given her help.
No, you've said it's my way or the highway. She needs your help. She's a newbie, so you're allowed to suggest, recommend, support, advise. What you're not allowed to do is go and sit and sulk and turn on the telly.
I don't sulk. I'm not a sulker.
Oh, you... Oh.
I am not a sulker.
He is really a sulker.
He is.
He sulks
You
big time.
are.
He's a
You
big
are.
kid.
So when you go, fine, have it your way, I'm just gonna go and do this instead.
Expletive.
Yeah.
I had the most delicious fish and chips I've ever eaten when I ate them when you made them. That is what you build your reputation on. I'd like to make a huge song and dance about what fantastic product you have. But to do that, I have to make sure that every time you sell a product, it is to that same consistency. So no excuses, but this is really important to build your future.
In under 6 weeks' time, I want to relaunch Pisces, confident that they are working efficiently and consistently in the shop. And that their fish and chips will be as good as they can be. As manager, it's up to Juki to take control and ensure the whole family agree on one clear set of instructions for the manual.
As I am the one working in the shop, I'm happy to start doing the manual for when I come in the morning. This is the jobs I do. So then the next job would be cleaning this up here.
But telling your parents what to do isn't the easiest thing in the world.
Just as a thought, though, because sometimes I observe things that I think are really important that maybe you don't see as being important. So would it be a good idea if each of us came in and wrote down our list of 10 essential things we should do in the business?
No, I think the first page are general rules of the shop.
It seems the step up from mummy's little girl to shop manager is not going smoothly.
We're not taking focus away from the food.
You're being patronising.
Food, no.
And she's finding dealing with her father even tougher.
That size, dear, yes?
Juki's making life hard for herself by being too pedantic about it.
Like a dry cloth. Wet ones leave smudges. I think that the manual will be something that will be added to quite often. He cannot sit and concentrate on something that he finds so boring and tedious. I got to the point now where I'm just like, not because I don't love them, but I just like, I've had overkill. Kipper overkill.
We're so close to the relaunch now that this family have to learn to put their differences to one side.
Imagine the three of you all facing in the same direction, aiming for the same goal. You'd be an incredibly powerful unit.
To be honest, I don't always trust him in the shop to keep consistency. He's got his own ideas of how things should be done, in how they used to be done.
I'm quite willing to change. I've done my changing.
You can't say I'm willing to change when I've done my changing.
All the things that they've wanted, I do. They've asked me to do. And then she says she don't trust me. So
you tell Alex what a portion of chips weighs in ounces between?
8 and 10.
Right, Mum, what does it weigh between?
Realistically, 10 to 12.
Yeah, same.
You need to agree that when this manual is done, that you all do things in exactly the same way. Full stop, end of story.
Yes,
I agree with some things, but I don't agree with others. The things that I agree with, I keep quiet about and let them get on with it. The things that I do disagree with, I talk about. When I talk about them, they don't want to listen.
This way of doing things is not progressing your business at all.
I know, but they won't listen.
Until
these two start listening.
I know, but you won't listen to them.
I am listening to
No,
them.
you're not, because if you don't agree, then you won't do it. I mean, that is not helpful.
We've got to all work the same. The rest of us haven't got that knowledge and judgment. You've got to have this manual done so everybody follows it. It doesn't matter.
I'm not saying that the manual is not the way to go. What I'm saying is when I try to talk about the manual, you guys want to argue. I mean, a stupid, simple thing yesterday when we were talking about grams, doing things in grams and kilograms.
Right.
And then you're arguing about saying, oh, it's 50 kilograms.
Right.
And I'm saying, no, it's 50 grams.
No.
And then she jumps down my throat saying, it says on here 50 grams.
Things are worse than I feared.
That was painful. What is astonishing is that everyone is so ready to blame each other. I am hoping that if I continue to give them small, useful bits of business advice, it will all fall together in the end and we will have a fantastic result. At the moment, I'm not feeling that hopeful. I'm taking it on faith.
With parents as divided as Kip and Julia, it's no wonder Juki is struggling to grow into her role as manager of this family firm.
Do you think that there has been a general acceptance that you're now in charge?
No, not really.
Do you feel supported sufficiently?
Not as much as I hope, actually, but enough to kind of get by. But sometimes I suppose I need a bit more kind of, right, OK, so this is what you need to do as the manager, Dukes. This is what you should be doing. I'm not really being told what my roles are, I suppose.
Yeah, do you think your parents have given up on the fish and chip shop?
If I'm honest, yeah, to some extent.
It's obvious to Juki that years of squabbling have killed her parents' passion for the business, and if I can't reignite it, then all my work will be for nothing. On a good day, the family can produce great food, but beyond the fish and chips, Julia is still hanging on to her salads and jacket potatoes. I'm hoping a visit to the country's youngest Michelin-starred chefs will put the passion back into Pisces and get the focus back on fish.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hi, how are you?
Nice to see you, Alex.
Nice to see you. Hi, darling.
10 years ago, brothers John Ray and Peter took over Casimir restaurant from their parents. Since then, they've built a family business, reworking British classics such as roast chicken and sherry trifle.
It's different. There's so much flavour in that.
Reinvention is really, I think, a really important thing in cooking. And as much as the new ideas coming through are important and exciting, It's nice to have a little look back and maybe try and understand why that certain dish originally you loved. And for me and Pete, Reinvention, that is the key part of why we do it.
Let's hope these award-winning chefs and their fantastic food philosophy can convince the Holbrooks to make the Pisces menu more mouth-watering while still staying true to their central offering, fish and chips. But not only will the food taste better, with new exciting products to bring in the crowds, their profit margin should look better too.
You're obviously up in our development kitchen. This is our research room. So this is where me and Pete come up with our ideas for the restaurant. So what we really want you to do is have a little think about sauces, accompaniments, and just things that you think will improve what you're doing at the moment.
At the moment, all our sauces are pre-brought ones. I would really love homemade tartar sauce.
Tartar sauce always missing fresh herbs. Now, it's something that I think maybe you guys could do and maybe do something different that a lot of fish and chip shops don't do.
I want to go back to your shop just for the tartar sauce because it's amazing.
So I had another idea I was going to chuck at you and say maybe have you thought about fish finger sandwiches? It's something that you probably love when you're a kid. I love.
We can maybe look at doing fish cakes.
Yeah. Definitely make your own. It would sell, people would enjoy it, and they'll come back to you. Definitely.
Juki struggles, and I would probably struggle as well, to do all this making while I'm actually cooking in the shop.
Your problem is you always come up with all these ideas. Then what you do is someone goes, no, I don't like that. When are we going to do it? No, I've never found the right recipe. What you don't do is taking it to the next stage, testing it out, deciding whether it's the product that you want to serve, whether it's a product you can make, and then what it's going to cost you to put on that blackboard.
Kip may have reservations, but Juki's ideas are an inspiration. So, it's out with the negativity and on with the cooking. They've decided to put an even classier twist on the batter.
Get all that side in, all right? Scrape, that's it. Scrape around the whole side, OK? Make sure it's all in.
By oxygenating and adding beer to the Pisces secret recipe.
That's amazing.
Perfect, look at that.
Completely different flavour. It's a nice alternative, isn't it?
Tartar sauce with gherkins, capers and fresh herbs.
This is the beauty of tartar sauce, this last minute freshness put into it.
OK.
Go on, there we go, put all that freshness into the bowl.
Yes, it looks so
The-
gorgeous.
It's development, so if it doesn't work, it's your fault, and then we'll just write on the board.
Those herbs, you give it zing.
And they're creating a new product by updating a classic, fish finger sandwiches.
Dip it into the egg, shaking it off.
The use of simple fish trimmings covered in breadcrumbs makes them healthier and cheaper than bought-in ones.
Lovely, Kip.
Ooh.
Right, that's the fingers with flour as their base.
Now I want them to experiment on their own.
The big question is, have you found this process useful?
Yes, fantastic. It's great to be moving forward again. And also feeling that we're all doing it together.
Finally, it feels like Kip and Julia are beginning to get excited about the business again. And, back in their home kitchen, they set to work experimenting.
Can you please chop me half that bunch of mint, please?
Mint. How fine do you want this?
Putting fresh and minty mushy peas on the menu is something to shout about.
These going into the processor on their way to becoming mushy peas.
And Juki's experimenting with a recipe for homemade rustic fish cakes.
Got my fish done, got potatoes boiling, gonna find my parsley.
Any spare fish offcuts can go into these,
To 150 grams. There we are.
which means they should make a good profit on them too.
Would you say that was a good fish cake size?
It's not looking bad, darling, actually, to
Yeah.
be honest. I think it looks very authentic and homemade.
They're very
Which they are
rustic.
I don't expect them to get it right every time. The important thing is that this reinvention will make Pisces talked about.
The proof of the pudding's in the tasting. They need more flavour, more seasoning. For a first trial, that's not bad at all.
And now that the Holbrooks have a menu to be proud of, it's time to focus on relaunching the business. And a recent trend will give them the perfect platform. I want them to open Yates's first pop-up restaurant. Relaunching with a temporary pop-up restaurant will make it feel like a real event, give them the opportunity to test their new products and it should pull in new punters. So I'm taking them to one of London's newest restaurant chains to see how well it works for them before I try to get the family on board with my idea.
Is that part of it as well?
Yeah.
Oaxaca was launched by MasterChef winner Thomasina Myers just 5 years ago, but has already expanded to a chain of 7 restaurants, including this pop-up version on London's trendy South Bank.
Here we are at Oaxaca's experimental restaurant. So they use this place to trial all their new dishes. So anything that works here has a chance of getting onto the main menu in the other restaurants. But really, this is their testing ground. Should we go in?
Okay, great, thanks.
And right you go.
Co-founder of the chain, Mark Selby, is on hand to show us around.
This is our pop-up experiment on the South Bank. And I gather you guys just want to get a bit of an experience about how it works and also how to kind of hopefully entice people to come back more and more. So I think first of all what we'd like to do is get you in the kitchen.
Can I ask you about pop-up restaurants in general and why you think this works for you?
I think you go into it as an awareness exercise where you've got to give all your passion, all your energy to getting people to buy into what you're doing.
It is a brilliant testing ground. I'm encouraging them to look at, one, they have this amazing heritage, but that should be going hand in hand with innovation. And the second thing is that they shouldn't be shy about trying stuff.
No.
That's good. That's hot enough.
Yeah. I want them to launch their new menu at the event, but in order to guarantee the vital consistency, I need everyone to be working from the same page, or launching their new products could end up being a disaster.
Voila!
Oh, yay! Well done. Good job. Good job.
Good job, Bill.
So, darling, how many dishes do you introduce onto a menu every month? And how many specials?
So every month we bring on 3 different specials, and every 6 months we bring on about 6 or 7 different seasonal kind of specials.
How does that work with staff?
First of all, we try and involve certainly the head chef in the kind of development process. So they'll be showing the dishes, giving little kind of prep sheets, explaining to them, you know, the ingredients, what's interesting about it, so they can engage customers a little bit.
It is possible to do with, you know, very clear parameters and very good training to make sure that everybody knows everything they need to about every dish. And I suggest now is a time to leap from the drawing board into real life and make sure that you put some of those developed products onto your menu board. Let's test the waters.
Time to find out if their experience here has warmed them up to my concept.
Tell me how you think that you can use the experience today to help your business. What are you going to do? Why don't we do a pop-up restaurant, for example, just for a day? Silence. No suggestions? What about us putting a marquee on the side of your shop for an evening?
And doing it how?
And doing fish and chips.
1,000 questions immediately spring to mind,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I'm finding it difficult to see how it's going to work, but
Why?
I've got to think about how it's going to work.
I mean, I just think it's quite hard just to keep on saying to people, come to us because you know we're here. We've been here a long time, we're still here. What's more fun is to say, for one day only, we'll do a fish and chip festival.
Okay.
Well, that didn't exactly go brilliantly, but I haven't given up yet.
I think that didn't go quite as enthusiastically as I expected just now, but it will give them something to shout about. It's something new that they haven't done before that will allow them to ring the changes between the old Pisces and the new lean, mean Pisces. And more than anything, I hope that it gives them an opportunity to do something, to make something work as a team.
A week later, the thought of launching a Pisces pop-up restaurant is still not making sense to Juki.
I just don't feel that enthused about the final event. I want to get the shop up and running properly, but I don't really kind of, feel at the moment that I want to be shouting about how great we are when I don't feel that we're up to scratch yet.
But thankfully, Julia's head is in a completely different place.
I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a good party. We're going to have a marquee. It's going to be lined, starlit, black ceilings or twinkly stars coming through. and I'm going to do my utmost to make it the most talked about event in Yate for years and years and years.
I can only hope Julia's enthusiasm rubs off on Kip and Juki.
Come and join us in our heated, starlit restaurant.
It's the heated, starlit restaurant that tickles me.
They are going to love it. To be honest, I really took my inspiration from Oaxaca's. I mean, that was amazing, wasn't it? So I think if they can do that, then I'm pretty darn sure we can kind of have a tent out there, cook our food in here, and deliver it to the people in a really good way.
While Julia drives the event forward, there are other signs of progress too. Juki is getting retrained on the till. The menu board is being revamped. And it couldn't now be clearer what their main offering is.
Finally, something that shows what they are selling, which is fish and chips. Even in the daylight, it really stands out, and I can only imagine at night. It is a clarion call to all these drivers to stop in there for their dinner.
The menu inside now focuses on what you come to a fish and chip shop for. The salads and jacket potatoes are long gone, leaving plenty of space for them to shout about what makes them unique.
That is so much better. Our aim, our fish, our chips, our oil, it really starts saying what is special about this fish and chip shop. There's a lovely big section for them to write up their specials.
And the pop-up event should be the ideal way to promote Pisces' new fish specials to the public. But are they up to scratch?
Lovely, thank you.
How does it look?
Ooh. Delicious. Really, really good.
Good.
Darling, they're delicious. And
Good.
what's it like as a cost comparison?
I put at least double my profit on them.
Oh gosh, I'm so pleased. What clever you.
They're in a great place to relaunch the new Pisces. And what's more, now that Juki is trained up on the till, they'll be able to keep track of whether their specials are a hit.
I think that is really good. I really am happy about this, you know.
Good.
This is what you need to base your growth on, facts. And I'm hoping that all the family discussions will become so much easier because you've got all this to base it on, knowledge rather than feeling.
But I still need to be convinced that they will be able to deliver a consistently good product. So it's time for me to test out how effective their manual is.
How to fry cod. Ensure fish pan is ready for use. Press and hold the up arrow for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where does this go? Leave no gap between them, therefore less mess. Second?
Second try, yeah.
Any bit?
Yes.
Fine. Make sure lightly and evenly coated.
Yeah. So lay it in.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost there, 2.5.
Perfect timing. Chips at the same time.
Ta-da! My first fried fish.
I'm now confident that Pisces is more than ready to wow the locals with its revamped menu. That is, until the great British weather takes an unwelcome turn for the worse.
Hello!
Heyo!
Good morning.
What a turn up!
What do you think of the weather? I am concerned, actually. I've already had some phone calls.
Do you think people will come?
I'm hoping so. We've had a couple of cancellations.
I mean, we've got to prepare anyway, as if everyone's going to turn up. We can't just throw up our hands and go, oh, well, that's that then. We
No,
can't
right.
give up. So, shall we get over there and get going?
Yes.
Yeah.
The family have already erected a marquee for their pop-up restaurant at the back of the shop, but the freezing cold weather could hardly make the idea of outdoor dining seem less inviting.
Will people come? Will they leave their homes in this weather? They've made such an effort and spent quite a lot of money on the marquee and everything, so I hope it's not a complete flop.
Julia has organised 2 sittings.
Well, Oh, this is very nice, darling. This is a...
One at 4 o'clock and one at 6, leaving the family little margin for error. So, it's all hands on deck to get the place shipshape in time for the guests.
Should we get going with the tables?
Yes, still got to go ahead. The show must go on.
So how many do we need?
Well, I would have thought at least 20.
On the menu, the new specials. Jukie's fish cakes and Kip's fish finger sandwiches with homemade tartare sauce and mushy peas on the side. A lip-smacking selection. Julia has had a great response from leafleting locally and mail shots. Over 100 guests have reserved a place, but with just a few hours to go, the family are far from ready.
Overnight, the oil has been out in the back room and the oil froze. So I'm trying to squeeze it out because I need fresh oil in this pan.
And worse, production of the fish fingers has come to a grinding halt.
Is Dad making the fish fingers? You're joking. Why is he going picking people up for F's sake? My dad's off, excuse my French, to pick my sister up so she can come when fish fingers need to be made, and trolley needs bringing up, and lots of other stuff. Hello, Pisces.
Do you know what? I don't normally swear. I only swear when I'm beeping angry. Kip did whatever he did at the shop. When he came down and said, right, I'm off to get Sophie now. And I said, Kip, there are things to do. Right, I'm off to get Sophie then. See you later. I thought, great. He just goes off in his own la-la world. For goodness sakes, men, pain in the He is sometimes an impossible man.
His last-minute disappearance has sent panic through the ranks, leaving me to set up the marquee without any clear instructions.
I haven't organised anything, so I'm just doing what I need to try and make sure that it's ready for when people come in.
And it's left Julia stuck in the kitchen when Kip should have been freeing her up so she could focus on the event itself. Time is rapidly running out.
It's now 10 to 4, so I need to get the tartar sauce potted up. I need to get the mushy peas heated.
With Jukie and Julia snowed under in the kitchen, I've been left feeling avalanched in the marquee.
Honestly, I'm about to lose my temper, but more than that, I'm now incredibly nervous because guests are starting to arrive and I have no idea what to do with them.
On the stroke of 4 o'clock, Kip finally decides to make an appearance.
Okie dokie, right.
I'm at the end of my tether. I really need his help to sort out this mess and to get some fish and chips inside these freezing cold guests.
I don't know how this is supposed to work. We don't have a waitress.
Well, I never had a restaurant.
I know, but... Well,
I've got a takeaway.
I know, darling, but...
I've never done this.
But you've got people coming in. Someone has to know what's happening, and none of us are it.
Well, you have more experience in the restaurant than anybody else here. Because nobody else has had a restaurant before.
Sweetheart, I didn't set this up. And if I had set it up, it would have been set up a damn sight better than this.
Absolutely.
So,
there you
can
go.
you get one of the family who does know what is bloody happening so they can tell me so that I can host for you?
Right.
I'm simply flabbergasted that the family are leaving me to face the customers and to explain to them that things are running late when it's their business on the line.
Honestly, you could not make this up. The family have kind of completely collapsed at the last hurdle. So they have people who they have invited. There's not one family member in there. I'm having to somehow be made ready. And I just want to make sure that everyone has a nice time. I'm really disappointed with them.
Julie obviously has a plan in her mind, but that's where it stayed. In her mind alone.
20 minutes later, food finally begins to reach the tables.
A haddock fish cake.
That's for me. Thank you very much.
Chip butty. Thank you very much.
And at least the guests seem to enjoy what they're eating.
Well, that is nice.
Frankly, though, I'm embarrassed at the Holbrook's lack of organisation, and there's no way I'm prepared to let the second sitting be as shambolic.
I was not happy about how we started off because no one knew what was happening. People were arriving, I didn't know what I was supposed to do with them, we didn't have a list, the waitresses weren't told what they did, you didn't know where the tartar was going out with every portion, you didn't know anything. No, there's no communication.
The comments are fair. There was a lack of communication, I do agree, but I was in here trying to get things sorted. You can't be two places at once, can you?
I know, I agree, darling, but the thing is, you know, I was asking these two things and they had no blithering idea. So you knew, but you hadn't told them.
Yeah, the plan was, obviously, yeah, but okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Honestly, guys, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, I'm just telling you a fact. That if I hadn't been there, then what would have happened? Can we make sure that the second sitting is really amazing? We make it roll out and I see you all working like you should together.
There's lots to do. We're just focusing on cooking up the food for all the orders, as and when they come in.
Right, let's go.
Once more into the breach, dear friends. I'm dying for people to try one of their specials, which is their cod in a bun.
I've had the fish fingers. I'm only on my second bite, so I'm kind of getting a taste for it, but I'm liking it.
After a stern talking to, the family seemed to be pulling together.
But how's your food?
Service is going without a hitch, and Julia has even managed to break free from the kitchen to launch a great new business idea that's sure to get customers coming back.
We've just started doing loyalty cards, which is hopefully going to work for you guys. So the promotion is buy 9 fish and chips and you have your 10th regular cod and chips on us. So.
That's fine, I've got 3 children.
Oh, that would go. You'll get that quite quickly, won't you? Yeah. Okay.
The fish and chips are lovely. The batter is light and crispy, and I should be back for more.
I've had the fish fingers in the hogs bun, and it's great. It's the sort of lunchtime snack I could probably consider getting at work, really. Keeps you warm, especially in the snow like today.
Despite the dodgy start, the Holbrooks have managed to come up trumps. The customers are smiling, and so, at last, am I.
I'm very happy with how tonight's gone. I've had very good response from everybody. The loyalty cards have gone down an absolute treat. I mean, everyone's thrilled with the idea. Now we've got this lovely little menu that concentrates on the fish and chips. Please, as soon as you get the chance, make sure you put the specials up on that board too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but you know, it is important that we make sure that the financial side is looked after. Darling? All the staff training, the manual, you know, Juki really needs support. You're giving it to her, but you need to give it to her even better. And I congratulate you all, but I'm really, darling, you are absolutely key to this operation, and I'm very, very impressed. No,
oh, you're impressed.
I'm really impressed at you. I'm really well done. I'm really proud of you. You have not stopped today. And you two have got to keep on supporting her, being helpful. And I think, you know, what you've got to remember is you have got to demand the support you need as well.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm really, really hopeful for this business, and I'm absolutely positive it's going to be a roaring success.
Good.
All right? Well done, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
6 weeks later, the snow has melted. But have Julia and Kip managed to stay solid in their support of Juki?
So I want the fish cake to look quite rustic.
Okay. Since Juki's come in the shop, it's made such a big difference. Everything is, you know, so much better. Like, you know, it's she's like the glue between all of us, like, you know, and sticking it all together.
Okay, Kit, that looks pretty good. That looks like a fish cake I would like to eat.
That looks fine.
Happy with that too?
Yeah.
Having Juki there as the final say is working very well, because we can't argue with Juki, basically. Juki is the boss.
So now does Juki feel up to running the shop?
Pisces is my baby now. I love the shop. It's always been a major part of my life, and now it's an even bigger part. It's my livelihood, it's my family, and I'm completely determined to make Pisces work.
The family are finally working together as a well-oiled machine.
Looks nice and chunky.
And that's been good news for Kip and Julia's relationship too.
Kip and I are getting on brilliantly well. It's like we're lovebirds again. It's fantastic. It's like we've recaptured our youth.
But it's not just the relationships that are looking healthier.
Our business has been really good, actually. We have probably increased our turnover by about 15% on this time last year. I think word has got out that our food has actually improved now. We're getting lots of very positive feedback from people.
Our homemade fish cakes are going really well. We're selling out about 90 a week.
With Juki thriving as shop manager, Kip and Julia have decided to take Pisces further afield. They're visiting local businesses to see if they can deliver fish and chips to hungry workers.
We've come in today hoping to possibly talk about having some kind of delivery service here.
That would be fantastic, actually, because we recently lost the vending machine facilities for one of the machines for the guys.
Big factory orders are a great way to bolster lunchtime trade.
We wondered if you would be interested in having a delivery service. Okay. I reckon that was so encouraging.
If it brings more trade, fantastic.
Yeah. This is a wake-up call to make us realise that, hey, we should be chasing business and not just expecting it to come to us.
Absolutely. We've got to stand together. We need to be united. And if we want it to stay in the family, that's what we need to do.
And back at the shop, there's more good news. The family have entered Pisces for an award. Having inspected the chippy, the National Federation of Fish Fryers has granted them its top accolade.
Getting the quality award is just the icing on our cake. You know, it's brilliant. It's really up there, really fantastic. I'm so chuffed about it. It's unbelievable.
Pisces is now amongst just 2% of the UK's fish and chip shops recognised as serving up the very best.
We've always aimed really high, and this just kind of says that.
I couldn't be leaving them in a better place.
I'm proud of the way we look, I'm proud of the food we do. So we're going to carry on building and hopefully be the best fish and chip shop in England.
Okay, chips in the box.
I could be chuffed her. I like a cat with two tails.